Here exists a book, not etched in stone nor sealed in scrolls, but whispered across the fabric of the cosmos. A gospel hidden in plain sight that speaks not only of God, but of galaxies, of angels not with wings, but with wisdom older than time, and of a universe that breathes with divine intention. Why has this gospel remained concealed from the world? Who dares to keep knowledge so vast, so sacred, shrouded in mystery? And what truths about our origins, our purpose, and our future are locked within its pages? Tonight, we pull back the veil. In this episode, we journey into the heart of the Urantia book, a tome so enigmatic and expansive, it has been called the forbidden gospel of the cosmos. Is it divine revelation, cosmic myth, or something far more intricate? We'll explore its origin story, stranger than fiction, uncover the celestial architecture it claims governs our universe, and decode its radical reinterpretation of the life and mission of Jesus. But this isn't just about theories. Hidden within this cosmic scripture are truths you can live by. Because if the universe has a message for you, isn't it time you listened? Long before modern science pointed its telescopes toward the stars, ancient civilizations gazed into the night sky not for data, but for divine meaning. The Sumerians charted constellations as maps of the gods. The Egyptians aligned their monuments with Orion and Sirius, believing they were in communion with higher realms. Across continents and cultures, a truth echoed: the cosmos is not empty. It is alive, intelligent, and sacred. It is in this lineage of celestial reverence that the Urantia book emerges, not from a temple or cave, but from a mysterious group in 1950s Chicago, claiming to be the transmitters of a new revelation. According to its account, it was authored not by man, but by celestial personalities, sent to update humanity's spiritual understanding. Over 2,000 pages long, its voice is neither human nor familiar. It's precise, impersonal, yet profoundly layered, as if written from a consciousness far beyond our own. But why has this book remained obscure, avoided by mainstream religion, dismissed by academia, and feared by some spiritual circles? Perhaps because it challenges every dominant narrative. It rewrites the story of Genesis, offering instead a sprawling multiversal cosmology. It portrays Jesus not just as a Messiah, but as a Creator's Son, one of many divine beings who govern different regions of the universe. And it claims that our planet, Urantia, is just one of millions in a grand design of spiritual evolution. Such teachings, if true, dismantle the boundaries between religion, science, and philosophy. They blur the lines between heaven and space, and they hint at a forgotten truth, long known to the mystics and sages of the ancient world, that we are not alone, that the universe is structured, intelligent, and participatory, and that each soul is a vital thread in this divine fabric. At the heart of the Urantia book lies a vision so vast it stretches the imagination to its limits, a detailed hierarchical universe governed not by chaos, but by divine order. It speaks of a central isle of paradise, the eternal nucleus of creation, from which the infinite Father emanates reality outward like concentric waves in an endless ocean of time and space. This universe, called the Grand Universe, is divided into super-universes, each with billions of inhabited worlds, administered by celestial beings whose intelligence spans beyond mortal comprehension. Our world, Urantia, is described as an experimental planet, one of many involved in a cosmic plan of spiritual evolution. Here, the book introduces the concept of ascending mortals. According to its teachings, human beings are not fallen sinners doomed by ancestral error, but evolving spirits destined to journey inward toward paradise through countless lifetimes, realms, and transformations. Each step is overseen by divine intelligences, thought adjusters, guardian seraphim, and Melchizedek teachers, all working silently in the background to awaken the divine spark within us. But this isn't a cold, bureaucratic system. It's a living ecology of soul growth. Earth, with all its suffering and strangeness, is not forgotten or forsaken. It's a classroom, a chrysalis, a proving ground for beings who will one day walk among stars as luminous contributors to cosmic harmony. Yet the book doesn't simply paint a utopian picture. It hints at ancient rebellions, celestial insurrections led by once glorious beings who chose autonomy over alignment. Sound familiar? It should. This is where myth and revelation begin to blur, and where the Urantia book starts to feel eerily familiar and utterly foreign all at once. What if our religious archetypes, Lucifer, Satan, even Eden, are echoes of real cosmic events? And what if our lives are the aftershocks of those spiritual wars? These are not just stories. According to Urantia, they're our inherited memory, our cosmic DNA. Now we descend further into the labyrinth, where myth bleeds into metaphysics and scripture begins to shimmer with stellar light. The Urantia book doesn't merely retell ancient stories. It reframes them through the lens of cosmic administration. Take, for example, the figure of Lucifer. In this text, he's not a red-skinned tempter with horns, but a once noble system sovereign, an administrator of a planetary cluster who rebelled against the divine order, advocating for radical self-sovereignty. His manifesto of liberty echoes eerily with human ideals: freedom without accountability, autonomy without alignment. And then there is Jesus, not just the Son of God, but Michael of Nebadon, a creator son, who chose Urantia as the stage for his final bestowal, a divine rite of passage undertaken by high celestial beings to fully understand their creations. His incarnation wasn't only to redeem humanity, but to complete his own cosmic evolution. This changes everything. It paints the Christ not as a distant redeemer, but as a participant in our struggle, one who walked among us not just as teacher, but as cosmic brother. Even the crucifixion in this view takes on multi-dimensional significance. It wasn't merely the end of a messianic mission, it was a cosmic anchor point, a moment that reverberated through galaxies, signifying the triumph of service over pride, unity over separation. But here lies the paradox. For all its grandeur, the book remains deeply personal. It tells us that the infinite God, dwelling at the center of all things, is intimately present within every human being. As a fragment of divinity, a thought adjuster, quietly guiding us towards spiritual maturity. And yet, despite its rich cosmology, the Urantia book never forces belief. It invites, it whispers. What if the heavens are not above, but within? What if your daily struggles are echoes of an ancient war, one you were born into and are destined to resolve from the inside out? This isn't just theology, it's spiritual astronomy, mapping the heavens of your soul. So how do we live the forbidden gospel of the cosmos? It's one thing to ponder celestial hierarchies or galactic dramas, but the true power of the Urantia book lies not in the stars above, but in the transformation of consciousness here and now. First, understand this. According to Urantia, you are not a mistake. You are a deliberate participant in a divine experiment. Your soul is a seed of eternity planted in the soil of time. The trials you face, they are not punishments. They are initiations. Every act of kindness, every moment of truth, every courageous choice draws you closer to the center of all things. To walk the Urantian path is to awaken the divine fragment within you, the thought adjuster. This is not a metaphor. The book claims there is a literal piece of the Infinite Father indwelling your mind, ever whispering the next step toward spiritual growth. But you must be still to hear it. Daily practice. Start with silence. 5 to 10 minutes each morning. No dogma, no agenda, just intention. Quiet the mind. Open the heart and listen. Not for voices, but for clarity, peace, subtle intuition. Then practice co-creative living. Ask yourself, what is the highest choice in this moment? And trust that your inner guide is co-authoring reality with you. You can also create your own sacred cosmology. Meditate on the structure of the universe as described in Urantia, concentric rings of light and order, spiraling inward toward the divine source. Visualize your soul moving through these realms, each stage refining your love, your courage, your wisdom. And if you feel overwhelmed, remember this: you are never alone. The book describes legions of spiritual companions assigned to your care. You may not see them, but their influence can be felt in synchronicities, in sudden insights, in the quiet nudge toward grace. Above all, embrace the long view. The Urantia teachings propose that spiritual evolution unfolds over ages, across countless lifetimes, even across dimensions. So be patient, be steady, and know that every effort toward truth, beauty, and goodness matters. Because in this cosmic gospel, even the smallest act of love reverberates through galaxies. So now the question lingers in the air like incense. What if it's all true? What if the stars are not just burning gas, but beacons of divine intelligence? What if the voice guiding your heart is not just intuition, but a fragment of God itself whispering your way home? The Urantia book may be dismissed by some as fantasy or delusion, but for those with eyes to see and hearts to feel, it offers something rare, a glimpse into a universe that is not accidental but intentional, not cold and indifferent but teeming with purpose, design, and love. It dares to blend science with spirit, to place Jesus in the context of galaxies, and to reframe human life not as a fall from grace, but a heroic ascent through the stars. Whether you accept it as literal truth or symbolic myth, the invitation remains the same. Wake up, remember, and live as if your soul echoes through eternity. Because maybe, just maybe, it does. Now, I turn the question over to you. Do you believe the cosmos is trying to speak to us? And if so, are we ready to listen? If this resonated with you, share your thoughts below. Subscribe for more explorations into the hidden currents of wisdom that flow through time and space. Until next time, keep seeking, keep wondering, and never stop listening to the universe within.